Hey guys, it's Kevin again with MixCoach. This is the MixCoach Minute. Can't remember which episode it is, but it should be Monday. And I just wanted to get right straight to the question. I was talking to a friend, Blake Bennett, who is a recording engineer, also a graphic designer, and does everything. But he was asking me via text, how do you process strings? And of course, the first thing I had to tell him was that it really depends on how well the string's recorded. And you know, if they're recorded well, you really shouldn't have to do much. But there is one or two tricks that I do on almost every string session that I do when I'm mixing, and I'll let you know about that. Hey, before I get to the question, let me ask a favor of you. I've been doing all these. They are kind of random. I'll admit that they're kind of random questions because it's just questions that people are asking of me and things that I think would help you, and things that don't require me to do the video sitting in front of my computer, because there's plenty of great tutorials out there like that, and I wanted to help you in a way that I could help you. Let me know by liking, when you watch the videos, if you like what I'm talking about or you want to know more about it. Why don't you give it a thumbs up and let me know by liking the video whether you want me to talk more about that, or maybe just follow up with me on Facebook, find out, and ask me a follow-up question or something like that. I'd love to answer them. I love doing this. I actually do love answering questions like this. So anyway, okay, so Blake asked me, how do you process strings? There's if they're well-recorded strings, it makes a lot of difference. If you've got a room mic, usually makes a big difference if it's a great sounding room it's recorded in. But two things that I almost always do are this. I almost always take 2K and pull it out just a little bit, maybe a 1 or 2 dB of 2K. It's right around 2K. It could be like 2.5K, but usually that's where you hear a lot of the rosin across the bow of the string, and they tend to get a little harsh no matter how well they're recorded, especially if they're recorded close with close mics. Now, room mics you don't have that much to worry about because it does smooth them out. I don't think the strings were ever intended to really record really with close mics. When you record in Europe, they kind of laugh at the way we record strings here in Nashville and New York and stuff, because we tend to put the mics right up on the strings. But sometimes we have to do that because we don't have concert halls to record strings in, or big, huge facilities and sound stages like they do in Europe. But I almost always take 2K out, especially if they were recorded with close mics. The second thing is, since we don't have huge rooms over here, room or verbs make all the difference in the world. I mean, you get a sweet sounding verb. Let's see, if you're using a lexicon, there is one on there called medium and hall, and there's one on there called large and hall, depending on how huge you want the tracks. Usually medium and hall works really well. I've been using Bricasti samples lately on my Altiverb. You can also use it on Waves IR, but you can go to Samplicity.com and download the Bricasti samples. It's something that my friend Steve Genowick let me know about, and thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it. And I noticed that a lot of great engineers were starting to use that Bricasti. And when I ran into him at NAMM, although I didn't get an interview with him, I did check out the Bricasti, and it was one of those things that you listen to every preset and you go, I could totally use that preset. So yeah, I use the Bricasti quite a bit, and I use also, if you have an old Yamaha Rev 5 or a Rev 7, I think it's a Rev 5, there's actually a patch on there called Strings that I got a lot of mileage of while I had one of those. So just make sure that the reverb, when you listen to the reverb, here's another trick, this is a bonus answer. When you listen to the reverb, listen to it without the strings and make sure that it sounds like it could be a nice sounding room. You don't want it to be too washy and unintelligible. You don't want it to muddy up the strings, which is what long reverbs will do. You want to make sure that the reverb sounds good by itself, so that when you add it to the strings, it complements it and doesn't make it muddy. So first thing, out of three things, first thing is make sure they're recorded well. Some mics in a nice room, great engineer, good preamps, all that stuff helps. It's all tiny things that make the big difference. Second thing is you can take a little bit of 2K out if they are not much. I'm talking about a dB, maybe a dB and a half. at 2K. And the third thing is find a nice sounding verb and use them across the total string bus. Usually what I'll do is I'll take the strings, put them to an auxiliary in, and then across that auxiliary in, or at least send from that auxiliary in to my string reverb. So that's how I treat strings, Blake. Thank you for asking such a great question. Remember to like the videos that you like, and I'll try to do more videos like that. And until tomorrow, I've got a great series coming up tomorrow, so be looking out for that, okay? Have a good Monday. See you soon.